Welcome back to Marketplace Mastery. I am Mike Shellback, and today we are going to pitch. Today we're going to go over everything included in what I say, how I say it, why I say it the way I say it. Hopefully you guys will pick up quickly, because the faster you pick this up, the faster you become the actual master that you are. Trust me, you have it in you. This is yours. Now, me personally, the first thing that I'm going to recommend is know your lead source. So the way that I approach a referral may be a little different than how I would approach a Facebook ad. Someone where I'm just trying to get across to, because remember, when you're talking to someone for the first time who didn't get your information from someone else, you don't have a whole lot of time to make an impression. You probably have less than 10 seconds. I believe the number's like 7 that they're saying. 7 seconds you have to make an impression where that person knows whether or not they're gonna listen to you or not. So if I'm talking to someone for the first time, I'm just gonna talk to them like they're my friend. So it's gonna be like, hey John, this is Mike. This is Mike, I'm calling with the enrollment center. I see that you were looking for insurance. I'm here to help you with your request. Were you looking for coverage for yourself or your family? You see? You don't really stop on a question, or you don't really stop on a comment, you stop on a question. So you're gonna say, I see you're looking, but now who are you looking for, yourself or your family? And then he's gonna say, I'm looking for myself, or whatever the case is. And then you just get on with the questions. You're gonna have a pitch. We're gonna go over it all together. But once you get into question, you get that in the door. He tells you that he's looking for yourself. You say, fantastic. And how old are you today, John? And he tells you how old he is. Great. And can I have your zip code? Fantastic. Now, reality, I'm almost there as far as what I need to get a quote. But I'm gonna ask him a couple more questions. Are you married? He's gonna say yes or no. And I'm gonna ask, if he is, does your wife have coverage? Because keep in mind, as we mentioned before, if his wife has insurance through work and he's eligible for coverage, he has to take it. See, they have a law that is in place that if your family has insurance options through an employer, you have to take it. And there's a little bit of a problem with it because there is a calculation as far as how much it can be to be deemed unaffordable, but in theory, it really doesn't apply to the spouse. It really only applies to the member. So, generally speaking, if your family has an option through work for an employer, you're supposed to take it. But let's go ahead and say this person is single. And then I would ask them, well, let me ask you this, when was the last time you had insurance? Because to me, I want to know when or how important your insurance is to you. Because again, this comes into play when you're talking about someone who's not getting their insurance for free. If someone hasn't had insurance for 5 years, and let's just say that they make $150,000, the first thing I would do is tell them how much the price is. Let them know. That's up front. We're going to go over the price first. Make sure that's affordable, because we're not going to go over anything else until we know that is. And that's the way that I do that. But let's just go ahead and say that this person is not married, and I would say, okay, do you have any children or anyone that you claim as a dependent when you file your taxes? And the reason why I say it like that, as we went over before, you never know. Someone may not have any kids, but may be claiming their mom. So I want to make sure that I ask the specific question, or anyone else that you claim on your taxes. So then once I get that information, I can go ahead and I missed one other thing. Then I ask concerning the income. I say, do you get paid weekly or bi-weekly? Oh, you get paid bi-weekly, fantastic. And how much is that check before taxes every other week? Okay, fantastic. And you just take the number down. Oh, it's $700 every 2 weeks? So it would be 700 times 26. If it's bi-weekly, it's 26 pay periods in the year. If it's weekly, it's 52. Some people you'll see get paid twice a month, and some people actually get paid once a month. That's hard, but it exists. So make sure you get the breakdown of how they get paid, and then you can tabulate their income. Then I put all of the income into the system. Again, this should only take you about a minute if you're already there, so it shouldn't take you so long. And at that point, I'll start asking questions about, again, based off of the plan that I'm looking at. If they're low income, I'm assuming the sale, because this is a done deal at that point. What I would say is something along the lines of, okay, John, well, I found some great options for you. I just want to clear one thing up. If the benefits are to make sense for you and the price is affordable for you, are you in a position to make an enrollment decision today? And then basically what I'm asking is, if everything works out the way that it's going to, I want a commitment that you're gonna work with me on this application, because I don't really have a lot of time to talk to you about nonsense and then have you hang up later. So make sure that they say, yeah, of course, if the benefits are adequate and the price is good, of course I want to enroll in the policy today. And then I just say, fantastic. And at this point, I already have their subsidy broken up, or already have it on the screen. So I'll say something along the lines of, well, congratulations, John. It looks like you are approved for a tax credit in the amount of, and I read the number directly off the screen, and I always say, and keep in mind, that's not what you pay, that's what they'll pay for you. I can't tell you how many times people believe that that's what they're paying, that's their premium, and it's not. So make sure that's not what you'll pay, that's what they'll pay for you. And also, I also show that you're eligible for cost share reduction. It's gonna say it on the screen. And what that means is that if we choose a silver plan, you're gonna get enhanced benefits, lower deductibles, lower co-pays, your prescriptions will be lower, the out-of-pocket maximum will be lower. All of that already shows on the screen as well. So it's really right there, it's that easy. Fantastic. Now, keep in mind, John, the price of this insurance is gonna be $26 a month. Is that gonna be affordable for you today? No one says no to $26 a month. So at that point, you can start going through the benefits. John, well, with this particular plan, all of your preventative care is going to be covered at 100%. That would include your wellness visit, as well as your prostate exam, if they're a woman, their mammogram and their pap smear. There is a long list of preventative exams that you can take advantage of at no cost. Now, if you were to get sick and need to see a doctor, the copay for this plan is $5, whatever it is. If you needed to see a specialist, that would be like a cardiologist or a dermatologist, that would cost you blah, 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 blah. In the event that you were hospitalized, this plan has a deductible of, and it has a max out of pocket of, blah, 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 blah. And then I explain what that means, because they don't know. So keep in mind, John, a max out of pocket means that it is a catastrophic stop loss before the insurance covers 100% for the rest of the year. So keep in mind, if you had open heart surgery and that bill was $300,000 and your out of pocket maximum was $1,400, unless there was something that was not covered by the insurance, after $1,400, the insurance company is going to pay the difference. Sounds great, right? Yeah, it sounds good. And keep in mind, there's also prescription coverage with this plan. That's going to help you out tremendously, isn't it? Fantastic. Now let me show you a few downsides to all insurance, and it's something you may want to look into because the numbers are kind of staggering. And then I go into cancer. And I explain, God forbid, if you were diagnosed with cancer, this is what you set to lose. And it's not only the insurance, because keep in mind, your insurance company is going to cover the majority of the medical, right? But what's not going to be covered is going to be the bills while you recover. So if you have any mortgage or rent or a car note, or if your lights are behind, or if you have a cell phone, whatever the case is, you want to make sure you have some extra money. So God forbid, if something was to happen to you, you can worry about recovering and you don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay these bills. Fantastic. Now, keep in mind, adding some sort of coverage like that is only going to be like an additional $20, $25, and that's really it. And that's it. Really that simple. And then he'll say, that sounds great. And then I'll be like, are you interested in dental? I can show you some fantastic options. Keep in mind, the way that I did it is the right way of selling these plans. A lot of people are going to try to do it differently. They're going to say $26 for the health, $25 for the cancer, that's $51. So John, your price is $51, and that's bullshit. You can't do that. It's not legal. You cannot put policies together. You can't do that. You can't bundle without unbundling and do it later. That's not the way to do things. Explain things properly. The reality of it is, we're helping. So if you do your job right and explain what people's options are, they're going to respect you that much more. And also, John is going to send me his mom, because she's turning 65 in a few months. And I'm also going to sign up his brother and his aunt and 2 neighbors, and everyone else is going to call me, because I'm going to do the right thing. So at the very end, after I've already explained all of these benefits, because I'm pretty much done, I would just say, fantastic. So John, keep in mind, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to put the application in. It's going to secure your enrollment for the first of the month. And on your application, do you want to have a middle initial on your card? No? Fantastic. So your first name is John, John, and your next last name is Smith. Let's go on with the application. That's it. It's that easy. All you really need as far as your application is concerned is going to be name, date of birth, phone number, address, email address, social, and information about their job. With that bit of information, you can submit the application. To be honest with you, you can submit it with even less. But with these 7 bits of information, you'll be able to put the entire application in with no problem. So one thing that I do kind of throw in, and again, this is to show the member who I am and my knowledge behind it. So what I normally do, and it's something that I did miss when I was explaining, I don't have any paper in front of me right now as you see, but what I normally do is I ask John something along the lines of, John, have you ever had insurance through the marketplace before? He's gonna say yes or he's gonna say no, and either way, my answer is gonna be the same. So if he says no, I'm going to say, okay, well, let me just explain this to you, because it is a little different. You may have had group insurance for a long time. This is different. So let me just explain it, give you an understanding. Now, keep in mind, about 10 years ago, health insurance providers, they used to discriminate against people that had pre-existing conditions. If you were a smoker and you were overweight, you could have been denied health insurance. If, God forbid, you had insurance and you were diagnosed with cancer, they would increase your rate within the next couple of months, and then your policy would be unaffordable and you wouldn't be able to get another plan because now you have a medical condition. So what President Obama did is they created new laws called the Affordable Care Act, which pretty much stopped all of the discriminating. And what it's done is it's made it illegal for insurance providers to discriminate against you for pre-existing conditions. It also prohibits them from raising your rates because you're sick. They cannot charge people that are older more than a few, I think it's 3.5 times what they charge people that are 21, but that's besides the point. My point is, what they did was they made it so that the insurance companies could not cherry pick and just make billions of dollars and not insure people who actually needed it. So, with that said, now people that have cancer, who've had heart problems, are getting insurance. Now people are starting to use their insurance more. Claims are starting to go up. What do you think is going to happen? I can tell you what's going to happen. The insurance premiums are going to increase. Being that the insurance plans are more expensive, the government now assists us with what are called advanced premium tax credits to help cover the cost of some of this insurance. It's very similar to if you ever had children or if know people who've had children who get an earned income tax credit for having children. Now we're getting a tax credit to help cover for the insurance, right? Does that make sense? Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is ask you a few questions. At that point, we're going to check your eligibility. We're going to check your subsidy itself. I'll assist you with the choosing of a plan, and then I'll assist you with the application itself. Sound like a plan? Great. That's about what I say. And if they were to say that they have had insurance through the marketplace, the only thing that changes is, as opposed to me saying, okay, so you don't understand, or 10 years ago, I would say something along the lines like, oh, so you probably understand how before people used to be discriminated against because of medical reasons and now they're not able to. So I would really just shorten the story, but at the end of the day, you want to make the point The point is that you're going to get them settled and applied for the subsidy. So at that point, you almost sound like you're like, I mean, I'm not going to say that I work for the IRS, but you sound like someone of importance because you're able to get them a tax credit for their insurance. Now, keep in mind, you're never going to hear me say that I work for the IRS, but I promise you, there are tons of people who think I'm more than an insurance broker. All right, guys. That right now, I believe, is about my pitch. I think at the very end, I'm going to do a culmination. I'll include it again just to give you a better understanding of it. But listen, this is very easy. You're going to say hello. You're going to go through the opening. You're going to prove that you know your shit. Then you're going to explain the plans and you're going to sell the plans. It's that easy. On to the next module. Peace.